Welcome everyone. I have a very exciting challenge for you. My goal was to defeat John Jay in the fewest moves possible, and I have 7 decision points that I want you to answer. I'll say you could either do option A or you could do option B. So keep track of how many you get right out of 7, and then in the end, comment and let us know. Alright, so the game started with a mouse slip. I normally go e4, but I played e3. This actually worked in my favor, because black goes f5, and now I attack it, and black does not defend it, but moves h5, which makes g6 and the light squares really weak. So now I take, and I'm threatening checkmate in 1. The bots are always going to get out of checkmate in the first couple moves, but this is a very awkward way to do it. So knight f3, d5, threatening to trade with my bishop. Should I trade? Of course not. This bishop is really strong. So now king goes back to e8, and now we have the first of 7 questions. What should you do? Knight e5 or bishop g6. So for each of these, I encourage you to pause the video and find which of these that you would do. Not necessarily for the regular best move, but which is best if you're going for a fewest move checkmate. If we go knight e5, it looks really good. Black's king is paralyzed. But if black goes e7, then after the check, the king can move and start having access to the dark squares. If white tries to bring the dark squared bishop into play, black can defend. And if the white queen tries to come into play, maybe check at the f7 point, black's knight can block, and our king hunt has lost momentum. We're still winning, but it doesn't look like we have a quick attack on the king. So I played the other move, bishop g6 check. The king has no response except to go to d7, and now when the knight comes, it's guarding c6. So black's king is stuck in the center, and now the king cannot go behind the 6th rank. The white pieces guard d7 and f7, and this e7 pawn, it's horrible for black. It prevents the king from moving there, and it blocks the diagonals both for the queen and the bishop. So my next question is, did I play d4, protecting the knight, or did I develop my queen to f3, try to get attack on the king? So if I did queen f3 and black takes my knight, it looks like I should have a mate, but I really don't. The king can escape to c6 or maybe to d7, and overall the attack is stalled. So I gave up the knight. If I would play queen f3, which I didn't, then I would give up this knight for black's king being in the center, but I don't really have a forcing mate after that. So I played d4. Just keeping all the pieces in the air, defending the knight, and now I can start bringing my queen into the game. So the rook attacked the bishop. Even though the rook could take the bishop and my knight could get the bishop for a rook, I need both of these 2 pieces in the game, so I did not want to allow that to happen. So I took the pawn. So now my queen would be defending the bishop, and I would still have the knight and the queen if the rook decided to take the bishop. Queen d7. And now we have our next question. Did I take the queen with my knight, or did I play bishop d2? So if I took the queen, black is once again having more space. My attack is kind of stalled. Material-wise, it's better to take a queen, but I really don't have as much ammo. This is the only piece that is not in the first rank for me. I went bishop d2, and if black plays a nothing move, I can check. If the king goes to d6, then I can continue the attack. It's not mate yet, but it's definitely continuing the attack in a better way, and I still have the option of taking the queen later. So I play bishop d2, g6. Now I attack the king, and then it's a skewer. So now after the king moves, I can take the queen with my knight or my bishop. So here's your next question. Did I take the queen with either piece, or did I not? Is the queen taken, or did I do another move? I played e4 because I really want this bishop to have long range, attacking the rook, but also having my bishop have more firepower when black's king will inevitably retreat to this area. Keep an eye on this h6 square and the bishop controlling it for later. If I did take, now I only have the bishop off the first rank, and the pawn is blocking it. Takes me an extra move to play e4, and black has two pieces off the first rank. The rook can get in, the bishop can go here, maybe the king moves there, and the knight goes there, and suddenly black's pieces are looking good. Black is still down material, and I'm still going to win this game either way, but for a quickest checkmate puzzle or a fewest moves challenge, this is not the way to go. I played e4, and black forced me to make some exchanges, and I got the queen anyway. But look at how much better I am than if I just took it. Now I have my queen here, instead of the knight taking to finish and developing. Now my queen's active instead of the knight. The bishop is active, threatening the rook because I moved my pawn up. So now the king goes back to g7 into the king side like I predicted. Now I moved h4. The idea of pushing here and then trying to win this g6 point. This didn't happen, but note that if I had this happen, maybe black does some nothing moves, I might be willing to take this and then let black capture me, my rook, move the king up, because I'm so focused on developing, getting my pawn into the action, getting my other pawns into the action, and just trying to surround the king as quickly as possible. That's what I considered when I played h4. I didn't actually do that, because black plays rook h5, and now I can't push. So now I push the other pawn that's capable of taking out this g6 point. Black also does not want me to push and disrupt this g6 point, so black plays e6. But I can just take it. So black is delaying the inevitable. I'm eventually going to start invading the light squares into g6 point. Black does the best with the knight on e7, both defending the g6 point and defending the f5 point. Okay, next question for you. Do I play f5 or g4? If I push now, black can take, take, and my attack is stalling out. It's still going to happen, but it's getting delayed. This knight guards this square, the bishop guards that square. My queen only has e5 check. So I don't have a checkmating pattern right now. I could play g4, and then after rook takes pawn, if I take here, now black can do that check, or I can trade, and so checkmate is still going to come, but there's no reason to allow black to take here and make things harder for me. g4 is better. First, it's a good move. It kicks this rook out of this 5th rank, but how often do you see 5 pawns like this in a single rank? That's pretty cool. So, rook defends. With the rook gone, now I play f5. Black does a nothing move, and now we can finally take on g6. Do I play pawn takes pawn, or do I push f6, forking the king and the knight? What do you think? Let's see what happens after f takes g6. Knight would take back. Then I would push, I would attack the knight, and black is falling apart, but just not as quickly. Yeah, if I wanted to defend here, I'd say black's best move is to go back here. Still guarding this square, and it's just hard to find how to invade the quickest. Maybe advance this pawn, and I think the rook would have to sacrifice here. I could finish this out. This would be checkmate, but I got checkmate faster than this, so this is not what I did. So I did f6, I forked the king and the knight. The king only has 1 square to go. And now the 7th and final question. Now I can take the knight. Do I do that, or do I do something else? Okay, let's look at taking the knight. I take the knight, I threaten the bishop, I threaten to promote, so I probably play bishop g7 if I'm black. Now, I think the best move is to promote, and if I'm black, just trying to delay checkmate as long as possible. I'd probably develop a knight here, maybe take, and white could continue the attack, but it's already way slower than what I did. So, look at the position again. I said white could do something else. It's white to move and checkmate in 2. Do you see it? So, we have a check, queen f7, and now, remember I pushed this pawn because I knew how important it was for this bishop to guard h6. That's coming into play here, as the king can't escape to h6 or anywhere, so the bishop has to block, and then the queen takes, and it's checkmate. Because I made these decisions, I checkmated a lot faster than I would have otherwise. I checkmated in 22 moves. Now I'm sure if you get lucky you can checkmate earlier, but I'm quite proud of that. Now, are you guys proud of your own work? I asked 7 questions, so comment how many questions did you get right? What do you think of this challenge? And do you want more of them?